show you tonight this cute little otter, and he is from the Awesome Otters set. This is a Sale-a-bration set. Sale-a-bration starts on January 4th and goes through the end of February. And he is just adorable. This is my favorite look right here, but he's pretty cute right here as well. I've got a couple other cards to show you with this set as well. But just a really, really cute set. And I know for me personally, I'm going to be making my thank you notes for those who purchase anything in January. I'm going to be using this set and making sure I use this sentiment right here. You are utterly awesome. So we're going to try a technique card tonight, and this is the floating strips technique. And I know some of you are going to recognize this from a kind of a retreat that you may have participated in a few months ago. Not mine, but one I participated in as well. It's really a fairly simple card to make. So let's get started. I'm going to take a piece, and this is just a scrap of basic white. And I need my little otter guy, and this is a red rubber stamp. Well, let's see here. Here's my red rubber, and we're going to stamp that because we're going to be coloring in blends. We're going to be using the Memento Tuxedo Black. So as you're watching, what are you excited for in the coming months of 2022? I would love to know. I can tell you what I'm most excited about. I am most excited. Hold on, I need to find my stamp cleaner. I am most excited about redoing my craft room. We ordered the floors yesterday. Actually, we're redoing the floor in our entire downstairs. Just happens to include my craft room. So we ordered that. I've got a desk that just came in. I have some IKEA storage I'm trying to get excited about, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it because it's not in the store right now. It's on back order because shipping's a problem. I'm going to bring in some blends here. Now, I know the otters are a deep, rich brown, but because I wanted to use bright, cheery colors for the new year, I decided to make him gray. So he can be an otter or he can be just some sort of critter. I don't get too shook up about things. My mother used to get mad at me when I'd color a butterfly colors that you'd never see in nature, but I did it anyway. So I'm going to just start coloring him. And I usually start with the light. Actually, I should probably just do the brush end. I usually start with the light, and I'm going to be cutting him out so I can scribble outside the lines if I want to. The only thing I don't want to color over are his eyes, because I want to keep them a little white. Oh, and I just colored over it. That's all right. I can use my color lifter and that'll take it off a little bit. See if I can get this one right. There we go. It just keeps his eyes a little bit white. And let's see, my color lifter. We'll just go ahead and try to lighten that little gray in there. It's fine. And I wanted the outside of him. His belly is going to stay lighter than the rest of him. So now I can bring in my other blends. And I can now, why did I lay down some light first? Well, I probably didn't need to. But I do find that if I am going to be blending away and trying to make darker areas, it is nice to have an undertone first. But in this case, because I am really doing all of them outside in the dark color and not just the borders, not just shading the edges to give him depth, then I probably didn't need to. But it's the last Friday of 2021, so, you know, sometimes I know what I'm doing, sometimes I don't. I'm at an odd time tonight, so that's just one of those things. Take it the way it goes. But look how easy he is to color. He's so cute. Oop, forgot his little foot down here. Okay, and if I want to go back in and shade a little bit more, there's some of the markings that were already there. I'd probably actually use the fine tip and go right around the edges. That give him a little bit more definition and dimension there. And I kind of do so in the cracks by his legs. This helps make him look a little more round. So anyways, what are you all looking forward to about 2022? Has anybody answered that question yet? Let's see. I'm not seeing it. Hi, Patty. Welcome. Patty, where are you from? All right, so here's my little otter, and I think I'm going to keep his nose gray, but I'm just going to color over it a little bit more, make it a little bit darker. Okay, so I decided I got to blend this in a little bit more too. Okay, close enough. The other thing I wanted to do is I want to take this little birthday hat, this little party hat. It doesn't have to be a birthday hat. It can be a party hat. So let's put my otter back. We'll put my little party hat on. Now I do have a stamp positioner, but I don't find that I necessarily need it. If I want perfect placement with a hat, I could cut the hat out. But I'm just gonna watch my head. I hope I don't get it in there. But look, that's pretty, it's pretty easy to stamp in a good spot. I'm going to bring in some of my other blends now. I chose Granny Apple Green and Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight and Bermuda Bay. Nice, bright, cheery colors. And so I'm going to start with my Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do the background of the hat. And let's see, let's bring in some Granny Apple Green. Here. And some Melon Mambo. Melon Mambo. I'm going to use this tip. Actually, if I use the lighter tip, I could have probably added a little pink tone to his nose. You might, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it just pinked it up a little bit. All right. Linda's looking forward to getting rid of masks. Not sure that's going to happen anytime soon, but hopefully before the year is over for sure. I'm looking forward to it too. I don't have to wear one very often in my everyday life. But with it on the rise, it does make people feel a little bit more comfortable. All right, so here he's colored. Now, I'm going to cut him out. And look, I've cut him out. I was pretty quick on that, huh? Haha. So, and let's see, Deb is looking to actually using a lot of the stamps she's collected. That's always a good goal. Now, if you can see him, I'm going to remind you of a little trick. When you cut something like this out, sometimes you get a little white edge because you weren't close enough, or even if you are, you don't want the white showing where he's popped up if you're popping him up, which I'm going to be popping him up. So I am just adding a little bit of outline here with my basic gray marker. I think it's basic gray. Oh, nope, sorry, smoky slate. Just go around, just gives him a little bit more of an outline. Okay, and lose all the white that might be on the edge. Now I've gone ahead and I have cut a piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to pop him up on that, and you'll notice that it's a little bit smaller than the one that I started with here, and that was just a personal preference. I could even put him on this way. I can make it a square instead of a rectangle. Doesn't really matter. I didn't get too fussy about the size of that. I am going to take a couple dimensionals. One of the other things I'm excited about is I'm really excited to learn to use something that I got for my birthday. My husband got this because I'd seen it at my son's place, and it's going to allow me to switch camera views and maybe see your comments a little bit better right now. It's such a process for me, so I'm excited about that too. My new floor comes in 3 weeks, so I'm going to have my new craft room in 3 or 4 weeks, or mostly done anyway. So I got to learn all this stuff before I change over. So it's almost like a whole new year when that starts. Now, this is called the floating strips technique. It may be hard to see on camera, but these strips look like they're floating in the air. Now, if you can see some glare, if I hold it just right, that actually is fun to watch. It goes, but it's floating above this card, and that is thanks to window sheets. So I'm going to take my window sheets here, and I'm going to try not to touch them as much as possible. And I have determined that I want a piece that is, if I measure this, this is I think 3 inches wide. I have already cut my strips, and I'll just verify that they are 3 inches wide. So I want my window sheet to be the same width. And I am not, while I could start by cutting the length down also, I'm not going to, but I know it's hard to see window sheet here on camera. I'm going to actually trim it afterwards. I'm going to start by, and again, you're just going to have to trust me that I'm doing it on the window sheet and not on my background. Let's go ahead and get a silicone sheet out though, just so I can keep my background free of glue. Okay. I'm going to start with, and I've cut a 1/2 inch wide piece and a 1/4 inch wide piece of all 4 colors. And I'm going to start with my Melon Mambo. And I just need a little bit of glue, and I want to keep it in the center as much as possible. And I'm going to stick that right to the very top. Oop, it looks like I cut my strip a little bit wider than it should have been. I can trim that down afterwards. And now I'm going to start move to the 1/2 inch wide piece. And I need to leave a little bit of a gap here. So you have to decide how much your gap is. It will probably be different, a little different every time you do it. That's why I'm not cutting the length down. So I could measure what this is right here, but if my gap is even a little bit different, multiplying that by, 8 gaps, 2, 4, 6, 7 gaps would make a difference in the length. So I'm gonna wait to cut off the length. Now I'm going to move to the Daffodil Delight. Now, cardstock is porous, and so the glue sets in there very nicely. However, the window sheet is not very porous. And so the glue is going to stay wetter longer, and it will slide around more. So you want to be very careful of that. Things will shift when you go to put things together if you're not careful. I mean, it does eventually dry. Not sure if you can see it on camera, that there is a bit of a, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. I must have measured wrong when I cut. Now I'm going to move to the Granny Apple Green. I'm going to show you another use for window sheets at the end of this live, where I actually use it to make a window. You're going to see how nice that looks with one of the new sets from the new mini catalog that starts on Tuesday. All right, here's another one. Anybody got any plans tonight? You know I do, because I'm going live earlier than I normally do. See how it wiggles around? So you just got to be a little careful. I have to pick this up for a second to make sure everything's sort of straight. Yeah, it's not bad. I think this needs to come down. I'll slide down a little bit. And I could slide it down a little bit because it stays wetter longer on the window sheet. So my plans tonight in Sanford, they have a performing arts center, and they have a rock orchestra playing tonight, playing rock hits from the 80s, which was the best music ever. Excuse me. Gotta take a drink. So I'm looking forward to that. It's from 7 to 9, so I'll be home early enough. Was planning on going to bed not too much after that, but apparently my husband wants some New Year's Eve snacks afterwards, so oh well. All right, so I'm going to let this set up for just a second. While I'm letting this dry just a little bit, let me show you a couple other cards that I have made with this set. So I made this one, and this is that awesome Otters set. And I just stamped the same guy 3 times, and I just kind of moved him around because I know I've seen a calendar with this sort of configuration or something. I tried to find it online and I couldn't find it. But this background paper right here, that is a Sale-a-bration freebie. So if you make a $50 purchase during Sale-a-bration, that is one of your options. And let me see if I can show you all the colors. So we have some pinks, and there's a bunch of pinks in here. So it's Blushing Bride, and there's some other pinks in here. So there's this side that's very marbly, and this side that's more swirly. But so it happens in pink. And let's see. You can see it in a bumblebee kind of color, bumblebee yellows. And then there are the purples. Isn't that pretty? Kind of looks satiny to me. I love this. This is a greenish blue, so pool party, coastal cabana, that kind of, color. There's grays, which would be great for smokiness and shadows. Just a black and white card would be stunning with these background patterns. And then there's the blues that we used for the otters. So you get 48 sheets. There are 8 of each of the 6 colors, so 8 blues, 8 pinks, 8 yellows, etc. So I just stamped him. I colored him with blends. So there was a bit of cutting out, but he's mostly straight to cut out. This one's a pretty easy cut. And this is one of the sentiments that comes in that stamp set. Oh, I haven't finished the inside of the card yet, so I can't show you that one. And then this one I love. So this one is my little otter in the water, and I used hammered metal 3D embossing folder in the back. Here's some more of that marvelous paper. And these gems were left over from a paper pumpkin, I believe. And I don't know if you can see it on these water droplets, but I added some shimmery crystal effects. So that just makes it look more watery. He's adorable. I love him. He's so cute. Didn't finish the inside of that card either. Not off to a good start. It's one of my goals this year, is make sure when I'm making the cards, I'm making them all the way. All right, I'm going to come back to this now. It may still be movable, but I'm going to try not to. So I'm going to go right up against this Bermuda Bay piece and cut it. All right, and that is more window sheet that I can use some other time. Now, because I didn't cut this correctly the first time, I'm going to go ahead and just trim it up. There we go. It's good. And so now these strips are going to appear floating because I'm going to pop them up on dimensionals. And you can use the mini ones or you can use the big ones. So the big ones have to go on the wide strips. Looks like I'm down to using my edge pieces on this one. And sometimes on the edge pieces, they don't really want to come up very well. So I will pick at them until they behave. Now you can see on the back here, ooh, that's pretty close, but I have to take that off because I can see it through the other side. All right, there we go. You can see where it's a little bit wet still, I think, but it's not bad. It looks like it's mostly adhered and drying, so that's good. So we can put a few more on here. And again, the edges of this one are just not cooperating very well. There we go. And sometimes what I do is I just put it down, but I can't see what I'm putting it down to right now. So, because position matters here. All right. Position matters. You can't put it in the middle of a window. You want to really try not to touch the window as much as possible if you can help it. I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple of these mini ones in here because they come off a lot easier right now. All right, I've got all my pieces off, I think. So we're going to put these. Another thing I could have done is I could have stamped on these strips. If I wanted to do the birthday time one, I could, it's happy birthday time, all along those, but I didn't. And then I can attach this guy, and I can attach this guy with or without dimensionals. I mean, I've got a lot of dimensionals on here. I've got dimensionals in here, and I've got dimensionals in here, so I don't think I really want to put another level of dimensional on, just in case I'm trying to mail this particular card. The post office will surely get me on 3 levels of dimensional. I'm just going to sort of center him in there. He's so cute. Look how adorable he is. I just love these little cartoony animal figures. I can't show you the inside of the mini catalog or the Sale-a-bration catalogs, but inside the mini catalog, there's actually, it's not totally realistic looking, but it's a really lovely black or brown bear in there, and I think he is gorgeous as well. He's not as cartoony. I'm going to take this It's Birthday Time stamp. I hope I can stamp it straight. Let's see. Don't know. I think I'm just going to stamp it in black. Pink would be nice, but I think I might end up sending this to a gentleman. Not that gentlemen can't have pink greeting. But there we go. It's birthday time. Now, what do I do on the inside? Because I don't know. I mean, there's just not a whole lot there. I can stamp another one of these guys in there. I can stamp, let's see. Let's try something that's not going to take a lot of time. Well, it will take a lot of time because I'm going to have to clean this stamp every time I do it, probably. All right, let's try getting our ink pads out. So we've got Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight and Granny Apple Green and Bermuda Bay. So I can go inside here. And I can stamp a hat there. And I can change colors. I've got some other great things to show you, so hang out. Even though this card's almost done, I'm not. Here we go. There's a daffodil. And Granny Apple Green was next. So I'm just sort of alternating the direction of the birthday hats. And Bermuda Bay. So just a bright and cheery card for whoever gets it. There we go. And let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to stamp on the inside with Bermuda Bay. I'm going to change sentiments, and I'm going to take that "You Are Otterly Awesome" stamp and put it in there. I grabbed an edge, so I better not press too hard. You are utterly awesome. And so there's a quick and easy birthday card. And I could take an envelope, which I don't have one right at my desk, so I'm going to have to do it afterwards. You'll have to trust me. I am going to finish this and just stamp some more birthday hats on it. And that will be off in the mail to somebody this month.